I'm very excited about this XXL Freshman list because I don't actually know, or actually haven't listened to any of the rappers before. So all these people are kind of new to me. I've heard their names thrown around before, but I don't exactly know who they are, and don't know much about them personally and their music. So I'm very excited to go through all of the freshmen and maybe listen to one of their projects and see what I think about them, because I'm very interested in all of this stuff. Because I haven't really been keeping up with rap music in the last year or so, and I'm very interested to see how rap will probably progress in the future. And I find it very interesting for me personally because these are people who are now my age, so it's weird for me to be hearing people who are like contemporaries from to me in terms of just uh, you know age group. So I'm very interested in seeing what these people are rapping about and how they plan to change the genre to some degree. So Ski Mask is actually the one artist I actually have listened to. I listened to his mixtape or album Beware the Book of Eli a couple of months ago. So this morning I came back to listen to it again, and I want to get so some of my thoughts. I am such a big fan of this guy, Ski Mask the Slump God, because I think he has a zest to him that I feel is not as common in a lot of music, a lot of rap music today. He just seems like he has so much energy and he seems so fun and playful. He has a lot of these word plays and puns and double entendres, and what I find very fascinating about him is that he does this thing where he does a lot of references to video games and anime in a way that I found very surprising at first, because I guess when you kind of have to think about the perception that rap has projected to the wider popular culture, you think that you wouldn't necessarily, at least in my perception of things, you wouldn't necessarily think of them as people who like to watch anime or something, or to watch or all this stuff. But obviously, over the last few years, you have people like Tyler the Creator and all this stuff, and I guess everyone loves anime to some degree. At least in this community, it's very interesting how you get. It seems like a lot of rappers seem to, or it's at least some rappers seem to be fans of anime, and it's an interesting mix of cultures. I think where you have this very specific, idiosyncratic Japanese genre of, or not genre, it's like an industry really being embraced wholly by these rappers, and I think it really lends to this, or at least to these. For maybe when I think of Ski Mask, it lends to his sense of perhaps creativity, and look at his style of looking at the album cover. Beware the Book of Eli. It's so hilarious, and you can tell a lot of cartoon anime influences. He references Dragon Ball and One Punch Man in the first song of the album, Lost Souls. He and the chorus he mentions let me look for the line. I thought it was hilarious, and I first heard it. I wasn't sure if I was hearing it right, or if he was actually referencing what I thought he was referencing. He says, "Like, you're looking at me up and down like an Elder Scroll," which I thought was hilarious because Elder Scroll. I'm a big fan of the Elder Scroll video games as well, and I grew up on Oblivion. So hearing these stuff in popular music, I think is just fascinating, because I guess when you're a kid, you don't really necessarily think that the adults or the people around you are paying attention to the things that you are very much interested in, or at least taking it seriously. So now when people my age have been creating music, I love that they're, referencing all this pop culture that or at least this our generation was able to grow up on because of the accessibility. Because the reason why anime is so popular, for example, is because the growth of the internet in the early mid 2000s gave people the ability to access all these forms of media from all over the world. So anime was something that was very easily accessible, and there were websites where you can just watch the anime for free, and a community of people all around the world subtitling the anime. So you get this community of people who are giving access to this once idiosyncratic and closed off industry, and now it's kind of to the whole world. And right now you have things like Netflix. They have their own animes that they're making. There was one with Jaden Smith, which I haven't seen, which I think is kind of a funny thing for them to do, but I heard people don't like it. It has Ezra Koenig, I think. He made it from Vampire Weekend. But anyway, so Ski Mask, I think he's great. I'm a big fan of this guy, and I'm very excited. I'm very excited to see where he will go in the future and how he will be able to lyrically change his style. Because when I guess for me personally, I listened halfway through the album, I was getting tired of it. I felt like there was to some degree a bit of repetitiveness to the style of music. He changes it up with Geekin halfway through. It gets slower, and then you get Rich the Kid at the end with Bukake. Kind of title is Bukake, but disgusting. But but anyway, he's very funny, and has lots of puns, and he has a zest that I feel, again, that I don't necessarily see in most modern artists. And he doesn't seem like and despite his upbringing, despite his problems, he seems to have been able to come out of it with a playfulness and lack of seriousness. I think that is a nice antidote to many of, or to just living today in this day and age. So I'm very excited for this guy, and I'm a big fan of his work. And I will be checking out the other XXL people, but Ski Mask is definitely someone I wish will be able to break into the mainstream and just become a successful artist, because I think this is, even though you can argue that his music is very shallow and perhaps even not the best of content, I think there's some space for fun music, and he seems to be very talented at it, so I hope he does well.